Hello everyone, welcome to Carnivorous Plants Hub. Today I'm going to be repotting some pings. I got over here some pings and some sundews, just some Cape sundews here that I have been growing for about 8-9 months now, and just sprinkled some seeds in there and they've been kind of popping up. I'm going to be putting them in these really kind of cool spooky planters that I have here. You can see I got the Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil, See No Evil, little skeleton heads that are really neat. And then also this little hand here that holds a plant. Of course I was pulling this one out of the box and I dropped it and I broke its little finger here, which I was able to glue back on without too much of a problem, but that was kind of annoying. You can see they're planters. I do have a link for these in the description if you're interested. You get them right on Amazon. They were pretty cheap. I think it was like 15 bucks for the set of 3 and then like 8 bucks for this one. So nothing too crazy. But these ones do have holes on the bottom. All of these 3 do. This one does not. So I'll be putting a ping in here because I like to have a hole in the bottom for the sundews. Now normally I wouldn't recommend like a clay planter for a sundew, but I'm just going to go ahead and risk it. I got so many of these Cape sundews that I'm just going to see if I can get them to kind of thrive in one of these planters. Keep them with a lot of water. The soil is really good. Give them a lot of extra water and just kind of see how they do. I think they'll be fine. Typically, if you're really trying hard to keep your Cape sundew alive, these are not the best type of planters for Cape sundews. However, for these pings here, pings are super tolerant. They do much better in smaller planters. They don't have a deep, extensive root system, and they're a little more tolerant to like minerals and nutrients and stuff in the soil. So they're really going to be fine pretty much anywhere you put them. The Cape sundews are a little more picky, a little more finicky. They don't like the minerals, and they do like a little bit of extra water. And they have a little bit longer roots, so these will probably be okay for now. I think they're like, I don't know, probably 2.5-3 inches deep. I think it'll be okay for now for these little ones, but I think once they get to be a certain size, I'll probably have to pull it out of there and put it into something a little bigger. But I think for now it'll look really neat. So we're going to go ahead and just repot them in here, throw them in, and we'll just kind of talk through it as we go. This is just kind of for fun and for something a little bit different. Okay. So the first thing I have to do here is I have to get these sundews out of this planter. I really don't like repotting sundews, and the reason I don't is because almost every time you repot them, you kind of knock all the dew off because you have to handle them. So I try really hard not to knock the dew off, but it's really kind of unavoidable sometimes. So I'm going to use this butter knife here to kind of pry out the dirt. I got to pull them all out. I don't like to try to just pull 1 or 2 out because then you just kind of disrupt the other ones. You can mess with the roots. So I'm just going to pull them all out, and then any that I can't get into my planter, I think I'm only going to pick probably 2 to put into a planter. I got some little individual planters back here that I'm going to kind of repot the rest of them in. So, but let's go ahead and start prying this guy out. Just stick the butter knife down the side. See, there we go. Already kind of messing with the dew there, which I know it bugs me too. But I do want to try to get this whole thing out in one big clump. It's kind of my goal. This will just kind of pop out for me here, like that. There we go. There we go. Now that I kind of have them all out here, I kind of just split them up. So what I think I'll do is I'll just take probably like these 2 here and trim off some of this dead stuff with my scissors. I'll do that here in just a second, and then probably just repot the rest of these into a different planter. But I'll probably make, since these ones are already kind of clumped together, I'll leave them with their soil because I know that it's pretty good soil. It still looks pretty healthy. It doesn't stink or anything. So I'll probably leave these 2 in this clump right here and then just kind of put it down in there with the rest of the soil. These are significantly easier to get out of their planter because they don't have a really deep root system. So we're just going to kind of pop this one right off the top here. And I actually got 2, so I'll probably take this one and put it back. Let it stay in there until it gets a little bit bigger, but I got this really nice one here. We'll take the opportunity here to pull off some of this kind of older dead crud from the bottom. It doesn't need to be on there. Remember, leaves, if any leaves fall off or you pull them off, these will propagate. I have another video on that. So if you want to learn how to propagate these, you can check that out. I'm also going to hopefully be selling these soon, so keep your eyes open for that. I know I've been saying that for a while, but I think I'm getting closer. Just got some stuff to update on my website, and I'll be selling these pings here real soon. So maybe even some of my Cape sundews. So we'll see, but hopefully my store will be going live here fairly soon. So let's go ahead and get going here. And real quick before we start repotting these, let's go ahead and talk about how you can get your hands on your own ping or Cape sundew. I'm so excited to be teaming up with California Carnivorous. They are one of the most experienced and knowledgeable carnivorous plant nurseries in the entire world.
They have a massive selection year-round of all types of carnivorous plants. There will definitely be something in their nursery that you fall in love with. On top of that, they've been generous enough to offer my viewers an exclusive 10% discount on their order when they enter Bug Eater at checkout. That's Bugeater, Bug Eater. I have links in the description and the pinned comment, so you can head on over and pick out the perfect carnivorous plant to add to your collection. You know you deserve it. Let's go ahead and head on back to the video.
I'll do my 2 sundews and this guy here in the middle, and I'll do a ping here, and then I'll do a ping in this one. This one's going to be, I think I'll do the big ping in this one just because I think it'll look cool with it being kind of in this one here, with it kind of overflowing. So let's go ahead and put the soil at this one first. My soil is a little dried out. I probably should have got it wet here, but that's okay. I think that should be fine. I'm going to go ahead and pack it down in there just a little bit because there's these fingers here and there's some space down on the bottom. So I'm going to kind of pack it down in there a little bit. Not too much. You don't want it to be super tight, super compact. There we go. Push that down in there. Okay, now what you want to do is once you get it to about this full, you want to add a little bit of water. What the water will do is it'll help that soil settle. And if there's any gaps or anything in here, the water will kind of flush the soil down into the gaps so that you can kind of fill it in. See how there's kind of a hole there that wasn't there before? So now we can kind of pack it down a little bit and fill the hole in. Nice wet soil instead of the dry soil. Plus it's going to be a little bit easier to water without the ping on it, because when the ping is on it, it's going to take up a little bit of that room. So we're just going to go ahead and finish filling this up. I think we're going to call it right there. I think that's probably good. I don't want to go too full, so the ping kind of sits down in there just a little bit. So now let's go ahead and take our ping that's sitting over here patiently, and it does still have a little bit of its dirt on the bottom, so we'll be using a little bit of that leftover dirt. If you have like rotten soil or it doesn't smell good or something seems wrong with it, you can pull all this off and kind of clean it off, but I really don't feel that that's necessary, so I'm just going to avoid messing with its roots too much. And then we're just going to kind of prop that right on there just like that. And there we go. That one's good to go. So what I'm probably going to have to do now with this ping on here is I'll probably have to find a place where I can get to the bottom, like right there, and use like a water dropper or something to water that. So it's kind of a pain to water. So you have 2 different things when you're dealing with plants, right? You have your aesthetics, which always makes it a little more of a pain. And this is obviously an aesthetics plate. This is not a convenience planter. If I was just planting for convenience, I'd have left it in its nice little pot that it was in, and it was doing really, really good. But this is for aesthetics. This is for looks. This is a Halloween theme, something that you like to look at. So obviously a lot of times with our houseplants, we're trying to make creations and things that we like to look at. So, and I haven't done that enough with my carnivorous plants. I've been so focused on making sure that they're healthy and they're growing correctly and all that, that sometimes I forget about the aesthetics, and I forget to have fun with my planters and that kind of stuff. So I'm really going to have to stay on top of watering this one, because if it doesn't have a tray, it dries out a little bit quicker. So with these ones, I'll be able to put in a tray because they have the holes. So I'll just have to pay really close attention to this one and make sure that I'm probably watering it every 2 or 3 days or so. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the other 2 full. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one off screen real quick just to get my Speak No Evil, get some soil in it. Now the water will run out the bottom, so make sure you have a towel or something down. Let that settle in there a little bit. See how the hole's kind of forming right there? Settle in. Now we can pack it down again a little bit. Now remember, this is for pings. For my sundew that I have over here, it's going to be a little bit different of an effort because I have some soil already on it, which is off camera right now, but I'll show you that here in a second. So fill it up to about there. Now let's go ahead and grab one of my other pings. Got some sand in my cup here. Gonna leave some space there for my ping to go down because I want that ping to be in contact with the substrate. So we'll put the ping down there like that, make sure it's touching that substrate, and we'll just add a little bit more sand. I should have left a little more room. You can see it's a little too full. The sand's kind of coming out the side, that's fine. That's not really that big of a deal, but you can see this one will have a little bit more access to water. It'll be a little bit easier, and I have the hole in the bottom, which is nice, which is probably the way that I'll water these ones, because it's a lot easier to water from the bottom than it is from the top. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this one. Same thing, rinse and repeat with my Hear No Evil. Right here, give it a little bit of water. The water settle down a little bit. Go, you can see all those holes. After you water, it creates all those holes in there, so you can kind of make sure and pack it down again real nice. Now this time, I'm going to add a little bit of sand before, and then what you can do is when you're done here, you can take like a mister and just mist all that sand off of there. Pings don't mind a little bit of misting every now and then, it doesn't hurt them, so you can just kind of spray that sand right off, that's no problem. Okay, now we're gonna get our sundews in. This will be a little bit trickier. So here's my clump of sundews right here. You can see they have a little bit more of a root system. Look how beautiful those are. Look at all that dew. Just absolutely love sundews. They're so cool. Okay, so here's you can see they got a little more of a root system, and I got a clump of dirt here. So I can't just fill it to the brim and then set them on top, which is really nice with pings, but not how that's going to work. So we have to kind of maybe add just a little bit of soil in here and then fill in around that. Added a little bit of soil, so let's go ahead and add the sundew in there and see what we need to do. Here we go. Oh, you know what I forgot? Let me trim these real quick. Got my little trimming scissors here that come in my kit. Again, the kit is in the description. It's a really cool little kit that comes with like tweezers and these little scissors. Make it really easy to kind of trim off all this dead stuff. Pull this all back. There we go. We got it all trimmed up. I did a lot of it off the camera. I didn't want to bore you with all the trimming. There was a little bit more trimming than I thought was going to be, but you can see now that they look much better now that I've gotten all kind of the dead stuff off the bottom here. My wife really likes these because she says they kind of remind her of palm trees. As the sundews kind of die a little bit and they start to grow up and you trim the bottom of them, they kind of almost start to have like a palm tree kind of tropical look to them, which is kind of neat. They're really, really beautiful. Look at all that dew. If you want to learn how to propagate these pings, make sure to click the video that's popping up on the screen right now. Those are really, really cool. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel. That stuff really helps me out. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Bye.